Wonderful viewers, you're welcome to your darling station, The Living Television. And this is our program, Nigeria Today. I wish all of you a very wonderful 2023. And I know, as the choicest friend of our Lord Jesus Christ, he told me that this year will be a year of miracle restoration and thanksgiving. And I'm sure you are going to enjoy it. Forget about what happened last year. The years of cankerworms are gone. You will experience a new thing today. Right in today's program, I have, as usual, from my far left, Comrade Nnamdi Lekwachi. Comrade Nnamdi Lekwachi is a public affairs analyst and also a political affairs analyst as well, also a historian. Comrade, you're welcome to the program.
Good day, Moderator. Thank you for having me join you. Happy New Year to you and to our viewers.
I have after him Honorable Emeka Ihedru, popularly known as Nzemosu. Honorable Emeka Ihedru is one of the foremost legislators of Abano, the day lawmakers in Abano. We say the pioneers of democracy and the return of democracy. And also Honorable Emeka Ihedru is also a public affairs analyst. Honorable, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Moderator. Happy New Year to you and our viewers out there. Happy and prosperous 2023 to you all.
All right, today we are starting with what has been trending all over not just in the social media, the pages of our national dailies and so on. And one of them is that the one-time president in this country, both military and civilian, Chief Olusegun Aremu Matthew Obasanjo, has finally and publicly endorsed Peter Obi. And being irrespective of the abuses and insults on him by opposing parties and those who are against Peter Obi, he has maintained his line. And I also want you to remember, we discussed here sometime when he said he had gone to prison for Nigeria, fought for this country, so he's not afraid of any person to stand to tell the world who he is supporting. And today, finally, he has publicly endorsed Peter Obi. Let me start with you, Comrade. And then for Obasanjo to have adopted Peter Obi, does it mean anything to any person?
It does mean a whole lot to all the aspirants. Because if it doesn't mean anything to them, or if Obasanjo is not a political stakeholder, someone who has a lot of influence, although he has won, always align himself with a particular candidate. It's not today, he's not doing it. Omar Musa Yar'Adua in 2007, he was with Goodluck in 2011, he was with Buhari in 2015, and then, even though he did not expressly support Atiku in 2019, but he released another epistle or a canon, yes, trying to tell Nigerians that the government of Muhammadu Buhari has actually derailed and undermined the democracy and the democratic principles of the Nigerian states. You understand? So Obasanjo is there that way. When he's not writing a letter, he is either dancing or playing football or doing something. You will have to know that, yes, this is the man. Yes, in as much as he has his own shortcomings, even as a president, which we've heard from the opposition. But there is something about what Obasanjo said. That's his civic duty. You understand? He's a leader of opinion, and then he's an opinion leader, and then the opinion to support Peter Obi is his personal opinion. And then to a great extent, and I know some of the persons who cheer for him, or some of his disciples may also swing that way, and that is why you are hearing these hues and cries, and a lot of Kulabalu from other camps. But be that as it may, it has a long way to go. In fact, it tells a lot about the Maputo. And if you look at the content of the party, the content of the letter, I think I've read it 3 times or over. He began addressing Nigerian youth, the international community, and the partners of the Nigerian democracy. Those are the 3 persons, the 3 addressees in the letter. Then he narrowed it down to what he believes should form or should be the qualities or the attributes of any aspirant come 2023. Given where we are, mind, he said from frying pan to fire, then from mountain to the valley. He said he called it TVCP. That's transparency, track record that is transparent. And then he said the person must also have vision. That's V. Then the C is character. Then the P is physical and bodily coordination to man affairs of the nation at a time like this. And if you look at those things, his personal views, then they are actually what Nigerian is. And to a great extent, he tried to dissect the concept and the philosophy of Emilokon, saying it should be our Lokon. All of us. Anybody who says it is his turn or their turn, that's where the problem still is. That pettiness, that sense of entitlement on the part of individuals to think that they can actually pocket the rest of the country, or it is their turn. You understand? And to me, I don't understand what that actually translates to, if not a civil coup. If you ask me, this is my personal opinion. Nigeria is too big for someone to say it is his turn or the turn of their tribe. Then Obasanjo went as far as digging the history, what many other leaders fear to talk about, the history of the Biafra War. He said we shouldn't premise competence and character of candidates based on the fact that there happened to be a civil war, which we all, as I'm putting him, we are all at wrong. So we all were wrong in one way or the other. So he even mentioned the history of the 60s that led to that preceded the civil war, the coups, the reprisal killings, and then the counter coup, and then the Operation Waitia and the rest of them. Then he now talked about the need for nation building, to build a Nigeria that can stand the test of time, not a Nigeria that should be. In fact, he said all these aspirants claim to be his mentees, and then out of all the so-called mentees, he has a right to choose one. And he said he should not be bound by ethnic affiliation, where someone is coming, the religion they profess, the faith or the creed. You understand? They also profess, but the competence and character of such a person. And I know that all the four aspirants, the major four aspirants, are all competent in one way or the other. But what Obasanjo said should not just be wished away, but should be subject to more scrutiny. I have read from the oppositions, I have seen the comparison where the Garba was talking about Obasanjo sacking or the yes. Look at it, even the current administration also has its own challenges. So it is one of the things Obasanjo does, writing letters, airing his views consistently. Remember, it was for something like this that he was actually incarcerated during the Abacha days, you understand, together with Sheikh Musa Yar'Adua. So Obasanjo is always a man not to be silent and things like this.
That's all right. Looking at it, Honorable, talking about what Obasanjo has done, his endorsement over Peter Obi, and then these criticisms, I wonder why it should be so, because even this present administration, at the point when they have all gone round, they waited for Obasanjo's endorsement for Buhari. Until you remember, it was within that period that they had to tear his.
He had to tear his
membership card. Then endorsed the current president as we speak right now. And then why is his endorsement of P2B? Do you think it's because all the people he endorsed, they've always done well, they've always passed, they've always been sworn in? Is that the fear of all these other ones?
Yeah, that's exactly where I wanted to, start from. The thing is that everyone was, they were all eager to know who he was going to endorse. It's like, it was like we are PPOs or students have written the final promotional exams, you understand, and everybody was anxious to know those that made it and those that didn't. Finally the result is out, and OBJ being his true self. Let me use this platform to wish him well and wish him more years, you know, that God will, in His infinite mercy, will allow him to stay around with us for maybe 1 or 2 more decades. Otherwise, if we lose him, this country would have lost, you know, a real gem. You understand? A man of honesty, you know, somebody who will always stand for the truth, you know. So, like Comrade said, he built that the letter, you know, the epistle. He built it, you know, from the scratch up to the top roof. You understand? You know, and that is why everybody is those whom he did not favor. You know, he didn't favor them. So that's why they are crying foul. You understand? They are not trying to insult him. This was the same person they were going to his place, prostrating before him, asking for his endorsement, asking for his support. But because it didn't go their way, so they are now trying to, you know, castigate him. But such should be expected, you know. But thank God that not only the candidates and the political parties that we are waiting for Obasanjo's, you know, sense of direction. Every Nigerian was waiting.
Even the international community.
Yes, everybody was waiting for him to say something. And he said it at the nick of time. It couldn't have come any time better. You understand? So now, in fact, it should also help the political parties and their candidates if they look at it from the positive angle. Because it will help them to reduce their spendings. To know that the game is already over. You understand? And not only that he endorsed, some other people have also queued up. And this endorsement, now remember that IBB predicted it ahead of time, that the next president that is going to rule Nigeria was going to come from the south and would be in his 60s, in his early 60s. So this one now, I think I am glad about it, honestly.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Comrade, talking about this endorsement.
Yeah.
Now the three, in fact, almost all the front runners of these presidential race, I'm not sure there is any of them that Obasanjo has not worked with.
Yeah. He said
Itobi was there when he was president.
yes.
Atiku was his vice. Bola Ahmed Tinubu was also governor when he was Mr. President. And then for him to have endorsed a particular person,
Even Kwankwaso met him too.
Even Kwankwaso
Yes.
himself too. So for him to have endorsed a particular person, don't you think Nigerians should see reasons with them, because he has worked with all of them, and he was the one. He was aware of both the federal allocation that was being discussed to all these states and so on.
Yeah.
And I think he has the right, and he knows, knowing fully well what Nigeria wants, having been a Nigerian
Yes.
all this while, from military to civilian.
Yes. I will begin by telling you something about Obasanjo. People are not talking about. Yes. After the endorsement or the support, we saw the litany of reactions that came from various camps, even from NNPP, that's the party of Kwankwaso. I read the release from Buba Galadima. But I have to say this, you see, Obasanjo is someone who has fought for the unity of this country. And he made it known in that letter that if at all we are to talk about a united, prosperous nation, yes, one Nigeria, we must leave every other sentiment and throw our support around or behind Peter Obi. Having been the mentee of other mentees, he is sure of his character, and he said he has listening ears. And people were trying to misinterpret that to mean that Obasanjo is trying to control him. Yes, trying to control him or to put strings around him. But Obasanjo said he has listening ears, and he has those he listens. He really listens to, and that is one of the traits of a leader. I will give you an example. When Peter Obi came up with the campaign list, there were names. People protested.
Yes.
They have to review the list.
Yes.
They withdrew it from the public domain and they apologized.
And they
made the correction. Yes. And removed the name.
And took responsibility.
They took responsibility. When Tinubu served us a Muslim candidate, you understand, presidential candidacy or something, there were protests and there were outcries. Nothing happened. They didn't understand. And then again, I'll tell you something about Obasanjo. You see, in 1976, when Murtala Muhammad was killed, Obasanjo saw that tenure as that of the North. Do you know what he did? He didn't allow the picture of Murtala Muhammad to be removed from the office, even when he was sitting as the head of state. He never allowed the picture of Murtala Muhammad to be removed from the office. He sat as the head of state. Then again, in the interest of equity and fairness, there was no northern officer who was a general then. The highest were this current president, Muhammad Buhari, and the Sheikh Musa Yadua, who were all lieutenant colonel. You understand what I'm saying now? Now, to be a general, you have to be a colonel, then a brigadier. But being that T.Y. Danjuma was also a Christian, who was the second in rank there, Obasanjo was also a Christian. Obasanjo and T.Y. Danjuma had that agreement that somebody from the Connaught should be the vice. A Muslim should be the vice. And that was how Sheikh Musa Yadua was actually drafted. So what Obasanjo is saying today is not different from what he has said before. It's not different from the way he, and that was why when they looked around in 1999, they found no person in the South other than him. I'm talking about the northern establishment.
Yes.
And if you look at it very well, you see that majority of the northern establishments are also backing Obasanjo, even up to the moment. But we may not know all of this. But I have this to say, you see, why is it that after Obasanjo made that very pronouncement, a New Year greeting or wish, it opened the floodgate of other endorsements. We are hearing of Clark and the rest of them. Even by Ayo Adebanjo, they still reaffirmed their support for this man, Peter Obi, saying it's not just about the fact that it should be the turn of the Igbo if we are to follow the principle of zoning, but the fact that Peter Obi has the competence, and this is the man who, those who are criticizing him, we know all the cases about who around other aspirants, but the question has been, what can we say that disqualifies this man? I have not known anything yet. I am not looking for him. All right. But I'm saying what Obasanjo is doing should be seen from his perspective view. It does not mean that Peter Obi has won yet. Endorsement does not mean winning, you understand, or a victory, but it should be looked at thoroughly as it ought to be.
All right. Yes. What OBJ has done is like saying in Igbo parlance that when a child cries and points his finger at him, the mother is not there, the father must be there. And that is also, I think, what he has done is not just an admonition, and also a warning to Nigerians, because I'm not sure, you cannot write the complete history of this country without Obasanjo if you don't put him number one, number two, or number three, in terms of the unity of this country. And so, with this Igbo balance and so on, what are we expecting, and what should we do?
Yeah, like I said earlier, all of us have been waiting on him to provide, give us this sense of direction. What he has just given us now is a national sense of direction. You understand? Now, Comrade said that this thing is not, that endorsement does not translate to winning, but it's a prelude to winning. You understand? Like Nigerians, we are confused. People were dancing in different directions and approaching the whole thing and singing different tunes. But he has now said, this is the chord, this is the tone. You understand? He has just set it. So it is not left for. That's why, like I said earlier, the game is up on the other candidates and their political parties. So they should, embrace caution and reduce their spending, and then key to this, yes, now follow the national sense of direction now, and then look at P2B. They still have, yes, because the money that you are supposed to, election is very costly, it's very expensive. Campaign is very expensive. So if they can now look at, they should now revisit their budget and say, okay, let's, gentlemen, because we are already in this race, I will have done this so far. Let it not be like we are just trying to let us play it to the end. But we have seen where Nigerians are going now. Like Edwin Clark, that is the leader of the South, has also endorsed. Then Adebanjo of the Southwest has already long last year, thrown his weight. So who else are we waiting for? The Northerners are there. They have also thrown their weight behind it. So these other people are just doing the formality race. You understand? Just to complete the circle. It boils down to, I don't agree with Comrade here. Yes, where he said the thing does not translate to victory. And my brother, we can go celebrate it. It translates. It translates to victory because remember, there was a time that this person visited him, Charlie Boy, and said that Chasukuta, popularly known as Charlie Boy, said that he introduced himself as the father of how did he describe? He said that he is the father of
area father.
No, not area father. We know him as area father. He said the father of the either marginalized youths or people who are suffering. The Obasanjo said that he is their grandfather. So now that the grandfather of the people who are suffering in this country have come out now and spoken, so it translates to victory. And I can tell you, just like the moderator asked initially, you also mentioned it, he endorsed in 2007. It was successful. It translated to victory. He endorsed in 2011. It translated to victory. Endorsed in 2015. It was equals to victory. In 2019, he did not expressly endorse. He only condemned this administration. You understand? But did not expressly endorse Atiku. And that was why Atiku is claiming that he won the election, but he was not declared. So that's why his own had an issue. So, but now, the same express endorsement is manifesting again in 2023. So, what do you expect?
I think. All right, please, because of our time, Nyesom Wike has disclosed that there is something wrong with the former vice president. There is something wrong. Why did he say that? According to him, he said there is something fundamentally wrong with Obasanjo for him. Having worked with President Obasanjo.
With Obasanjo or with Atiku?
No, there is something fundamentally wrong with Atiku. Having worked with Obasanjo for 8 years. And then Obasanjo coming out openly to say, upon all this, Tinubu is his brother. They know themselves. And then he knew Kwankwaso too as well. And then coming up openly to publicly endorse P2B that there is something wrong with Atiku Abubakar. And also he said that Abubakar is Atiku Abubakar is a bad product. And that this election, the result of the election is more or less out. Comrade. For him to, well, I don't want to agree with him that he's a bad product. But then, for him to have said this, and let us also look inwards. This is a man you worked with for 8 years.
Yes.
A lot of interpretations coming from left, right, and center, whether it's jealousy or what. But Obasanjo is not that kind of person.
Yeah.
So,
yes, I think it speaks to something. The relationship the duo had during their presidency. The relationship they had. Of course, we are all witnesses. Yes. We saw how, even at the time, Atiku was actually being caged. In fact, his candidacy by 2007 even had problem. I remember his candidacy had problem until the Supreme Court made a pronouncement that INEC had no powers to disqualify a candidate. That was how he was free to contest. But there was also that report that Atiku nearly hijacked the presidency of Obasanjo to the extent that Obasanjo knelt down.
Yes.
You understand?
2003.
Yes, Atiku nearly hijacked the president. And mind you that Atiku is not a newcomer when it comes to the issue of the presidency. He was in the race in 1992, before 1993, you understand? Now, who is Atiku? That's the question we should be asking. Just like Bola Ahmed Tinubu, these are persons who believe that one of their lifetime ambitions is to preside over the affairs of this country. You understand? And most times I want to know, is this passion driven or is it just motivated by national factors or just personal factors? And that is why one of them will say, Emi Lokon, it is my turn. It's not just about Nigeria. I'm not trying to demarcate the ones now. But I'm just making you see. I will come down to it now. See, Obasanjo, if there is any person who knows Atiku very well in this polity now, who has worked with him politically, it is Obasanjo. And there are claims. I hear people try to dish out or brandish about Atiku, and I wouldn't know why. And they will say he was the person who built the economy under Obasanjo. To what extent, if Obasanjo had not wanted those policies, if Obasanjo had not been that lenient the way he was with, mind you, see, I would say this, if you know Obasanjo very, 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 very well, he's not a controversial person. To have problem with the persons working directly under him, he worked with Sheikh Musa Yar'Adua. They both were consistent to the extent that they were in prison, and Sheikh Musa Yar'Adua died in prison. He shows you something, that they had the same cause. Now he worked with Atiku. We also saw the problems and the infighting. The point there that people are not interrogating is this: why will Obasanjo work with somebody for 8 years, his second person, and not support him this time around? It speaks to something. You understand? Something perhaps that we don't know. If you read Obasanjo's book, you see Obasanjo swore, he vowed over his dead body to support Atiku presidency in his book, My Watch. Now, when apart from all those ones, now you now see that even Atiku himself, who said he has actually appointed or he has actually run the economy, he has actually run it, but the fact remains, Obasanjo made critical appointments with whom Atiku worked and created that enabling environment for Atiku to work. And we all know the challenges with privatization scheme and the rest of them. Yeah. I am not trying to be critical. He is a unifier and then a nation builder, had that in mind. Why would he think that presidency is a Christmas gift to be handed to a particular portion of the country? This time around, one of the biggest nationalities in this country. So to me, I think whatever is happening between Atiku and Obasanjo is something that they will all keep telling us and we keep seeing. But what we can say should not be wished away. If I work with you, I am working with you now, and in the next 5 years, you cannot, yes, you cannot even give a testimony, or a testimony, or you can come up with a draft that Nnamdi Lekwachi is this or that, then it means the relationship was not held to them.
All right, Honorable, that something is fundamentally wrong with Atiku Abubakar. That's Wike's take as it concerns Atiku Abubakar, and that he is a bad product, and then to become the president of this country.
Of course, that's what it means. That's what I align myself with Wike, because... Okay,
as one of the pioneer members of, founding members of PDP, then you people refer to him as a unifier.
No, he refers to himself as a unifier. He claims he's a self-acclaimed. He is a self-acclaimed unifier, and he has not been able to unify our party. In fact, our party have never known as much division that we have known now before now. You understand? The party is far much divided now. You know, both at the world level, AGAs, depending on the states and all that. You know, so the thing now is, and he is the one now that is almost denying PDP the presidency. Come this 2023. Yes, to ask, I want to be honest. Ask so many PDP members, they will tell you that we have already consoled ourselves. We have taken solace that the presidency has eluded PDP. This 2023 presidency has eluded PDP because he has failed to unify the party. He is telling us that he is a unifier, and when everybody has left him now, oh yeah, unify the party, he cannot unify the party. But straight to your question, you know, when it's like you've worked with somebody, you know, with an organization for a period of 2-3 years, 2-3 years or 4 is even enough for either your MD or your CEO to say, I know this person, I can endorse for him, I can vouch for him. Let alone when you have put in 8 years with somebody and both of you are on joint ticket, and this person is saying, instead of me to endorse this very person, let me cease to be a Nigerian. That's almost what the body language of OBJ is telling us. So the thing is that Atiku is not a marketable product. He is greedy. Remember, the same character, the same attitude he displayed towards Obasanjo in 2003 was the same attitude and character he displayed towards Goodluck Jonathan in 2015. In 2015, he was still around. He has not left PDP. That was 2014. When Jonathan went to London to meet him and to plead with him and ask for himself, even that the same way Obasanjo knelt down for him. Knelt down for him. He said, now the condition he gave to Jonathan was, if you are ready to fulfill the tickets and hand me over the ticket, then I will support. Then we will go.
What he will be supporting again for?
Yeah, you see. So he will support the party. Yeah. So that being the case, you can now see that he is as greedy as Tinubu, and that's why OBJ said in that letter, Eminoko and I have paid my dues, that they are one and the same language. I have paid my dues means it is also my turn. You should give it to me now that I haven't paid my dues. And whom did he pay the dues?
And then it is also important to understand that if someone says this, that because I'm saying this now in particular, in fact, referencing, or let me say, directly to those who are trying to defend this Emilokon concept, said he meant it at the party level. Even at the party level, the democracy is a plural game. It's a game of numbers. No, in fact, it is only Buhari. We had the issue of sole candidacy. You understand? And then I think sometime there was also that rumor during the Goodluck days. But the point to be made is this: that democracy, even if it is consensus, it must be consensus of many. That many people will agree to abdicate or not to run, so that another person who is more competent or more vibrant should continue. But now he said Emilokon, it means to an extent that even the primary election the party was heading to then should not even have any other meaning, except to the extent it was made for him to carry. And we also what happened. But away from that, I still believe that each of the candidates has a lot of work to do, because this is a very election we saw that for the first time Nigerians, although we may want or we may know for which candidate or for whom we want to vote, but we are for the first time served with 4 men that actually have capacities to make inroads, at least in different parts of the country, if not generally, but at least in different parts. If you look at Obi, from what the optics present, you see that Obi has a tendency to clench the southeast, the south-south, and make inroads in the middle belt, and even in the southwest, and then in the north. That's where we are having Then you look at Kwankwaso too. He has the capacity, at least in the north, and then a part of the middle belt. Then Tinubu, all of them. But I think beyond that, Nigerians should begin to look at what Obasanjo talked about. TVCP. Track record. What is the record of this person? I'm sorry to say this, but Obi simply is the person who has said, if I'm elected, I will be responsible. There is no shifting of blames. Hold me responsible if I fail to fulfill my
electoral campaigns.
Now, you also hear Obasanjo say something about vision. What should the
should be driven?
Yes. Now, he also talked about character, and then talked about physical. Now, see, the physical issue is something people are beginning to express fear about, and I'm one of them. Of the 4 candidates, of the 4 leading candidates, two of them, in fact, Atiku said, I don't want to even talk about Tinubu, where there is allegation of incontinence, lack of medical and mental coordination. Atiku said he cannot disclose his own mental state. He said he cannot disclose his ailment. So he speaks to something. Where we are today, we require or we need a leader that can be robust, that can stand the test of time, that can pass through the rigors of presidency. See, we cannot wish it away that if you become a president, if at this level you cannot read a prepared speech or a text of a prepared speech, how can you represent the country when you go to United Nations Assembly and rest of them, where you are expected to ad lib
What we saw in Pobia's...
When we saw in Pobia, we talked about here, Pobia, and I was even generous enough to remind us of President Salva Kiir of South Sudan.
Yes.
So it's not, I am not being ageist, but those who are old enough should quit the stage and bless the younger ones. And that is why Obasanjo was addressing the youth, not just any other person. We have the numbers now. It's a game of numbers.
Yes.
But do the needful.
Yes.
All right. Nigerian former military president Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida says he respects a former president Olusegun Obasanjo's endorsement of Labour Party presidential candidate, that is the person of Peter Obi. Babangida said Obasanjo will forever be a true statesman and a boss in the military. That is to say that the former military president, I think he was the most, let's say, popular. I don't want to use the word notorious. He was very popular during his time.
Yes, as a dictator.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's a dictator. Yeah, yes, he was a dictator then.
Okay.
Even Obasanjo, all of them were dictators, including Buhari, as a military head of state.
Okay. Then he said he respects what Obasanjo has done about P2B, and what he's saying is that he knows Obasanjo who also likes good things and also want to unite Nigeria, and for him to have endorsed P2B, Nigerians should look inwards. Let me start with you, Honorable.
Yeah, I think I did mention it earlier, that IBB, I don't quite agree that IBB was a dictator. He was liberal, more liberal than any other military head of state this country has ever witnessed. Yes, he was
remember at the point it was even called Maradona.
Maradona, you cannot be a Maradona. That means he was a player.
I don't know.
You
understand the meaning of saying a military dictator is not a dictator. He didn't come by constitutional means.
Yeah, he
Any
did.
person who comes outside the constitution is a dictator. It's clear.
Yeah,
That's as clear as daylight.
Yes, yeah. He didn't come through. He came through the barrels of the gun. He came through the barrels of the gun. But then he was, like I said earlier, he was a more subtle military head of state than we have ever had in this country. You understand? You don't compare him to Buhari when Buhari was even Buhari now is his president. Even inside Abada, he's still a dictator. You understand? That will show you the true military head of state in him. Then even though his south is not really, allowing him to do most of these things like Obasanjo is doing now, but he's also in tune with the happenings. The endorsements, if it were Buhari wouldn't have supported these endorsements. That will tell you how this guy, the IBB, how liberal IBB is. And him supporting, re-endorsing Obasanjo's endorsement speaks volume. You understand? Not only him now, this person, Bottom, has also endorsed and re-endorsed Peter Obi. You understand?
But Adamson has a point. He said
if he were not in PDP,
that he would have ended the campaign.
Now that he is not likely to vote for.
It's like
for Obi.
Now in the Igbo palace, somebody would say, if a child walks up to the father and says, if you were not my father, I would have given you a slap for this thing or the other thing you did.
The slap is not.
That's it. That's simple. What he has endorsed Obi. You understand? That's what he has. This is not the first time he's saying it. He has said it, and this time he took it to the next level. He said that he described the character of Obi. You understand? So the thing is, and if you watch, comrade, if you watch,
yes,
you will discover that prior to we compared this election to the previous elections we've had. By now, political parties and the candidates would have started spending heavily.
Yes, he's focusing on issue now.
You understand? You would have started spending heavily. But the thing now is that the parties are beginning to readjust. You understand? They say that the people.
And you saying that Obi has changed the narrative.
He has changed the narratives. And the people have come out now to use their own money to reclaim their country.
The youth, for the most part.
Yeah, the youth.
For the most part.
Yes, but if the youths are occupying the driver's seat, you discover that their parents who are in the passenger seat wouldn't have a choice. But
I have this to say, you see, we have to also give credit to Babangida, if that was actually what he said.
Yeah, he said it.
Why? Because these are people who have fought for the unity of this country. That Babangida is not physically mobile today. He's just a result of that war. You understand? Yes, he was hit by a bullet, I think somewhere in the superior axis or corridor.
Yeah.
On off your axis, thereabout. He sustained that injury till today. Though I know he was a military dictator, one who even denied us the most popular, the most free, in fact, the freest and the fairest of election. But when you look at Babangida, what he said and where he's been, see that Babangida ran an inclusive government. That's what I'm trying to help.
That's why I said that. Yeah, an inclusive government. Yes.
Without minding that the life-threatening injury he was carrying was actually a result of the war he fought in, and that Babangida actually if Babangida had endorsed Obasanjo, we had also ask ourselves, who is this Obasanjo again? And I make bold to say that this is somebody who was incarcerated because he believed that Abacha should hand over to a democratically elected government. We all know that when Obasanjo spoke, many people who are even talking today, even including those who were criticizing him, were either silent or working with Abacha. Example, Muhammadu Buhari, who was the head of the PTF, he was with Abacha.
Yeah, was with
understand? So the whole thing remains that Nigeria should turn a new leaf and forge ahead and heal because of the ugly past. So if Babangida is saying this, yes, Babangida we all may not entirely agreed on who Babangida is, but the fact remains that what is being served us today remains a choice for us to either make or follow other choices left before us.
All right, our wonderful viewers, we are going to go on a very short break. When we come back, Nigeria Today continues. Don't go away, keep watching Living TV. We'll be back shortly.
Allow me to enjoy myself. I love you. Oh, yeah.
Have you heard that Living Television, the latest satellite station on SatView channel, is received all over Nigeria and Africa? You can watch Living Television on every free-to-air HD decoder, including Strong HD and CSAT HD. Why keep paying for monthly subscriptions when you can have fun for free? With Living Television, you can watch lots of wrestling, football, documentaries, and Nigerian films, including discussions and debates on current Nigeria issues. Watch free live matches on La Liga Spain cum Serie A, Italy cum Bundesliga, German League 1, and French matches on over 80 premium channels. Wow! You can also sponsor your programs such as live church services and crusades, political rallies, burial and wedding ceremonies, promotional interviews, announcements, advertisements, documentaries, and commercials. We are situated at number 1 Judges Street off Ikorekmane Road, Aba, Abia State. For further enquiries, call 0805 367 3900. Signed, Management.
I love you. Oh, yeah.
And so you can keep on watching Living TV. I can say in pidgin English, Living TV. Unade Kampe.
Viewers, I'm glad you're still there watching your favorite television program, Nigeria Today. Thank God you're there, and our phone lines are now open. You can call us on 091-682-84994. I'll take it again. 091-682-84994. Call us, tell us your name, where you're calling from, your contribution or questions you can ask. The people we have here in the studio are people who are experienced, who have also witnessed Nigeria in its fullest. So you can always call, and we are continuing, Pastor Tunde Bakari was President Muhammadu Buhari's running mate in 2011 and under the platform of Congress for Progressive Change, CPC. And then Bakari said in one of the commentaries that at the point when after one of their campaigns, they went to Buhari's house, and then while there, Buhari staggered a little, and on getting himself, he shouted, "Jesus Christ of Nazareth." Tunde said he was so amazed. He now retorted and said, "Sir, was that a stray of word?" And then Buhari replied and said, "Pastor, do you think you have the monopoly of this Jesus Christ?"
Yes.
So, what does that tell us? We're talking about religious carnage here and there in the north and so on, Muslim, Christian differences.
It tells us that we should look beyond the religious parameters or the religious cleavages when we are to discuss issues of national importance and then to make choices as we approach the election. Yes, but let us also understand that in Islam, Jesus is Isa.
Isa, yes.
Joseph is Yusuf. David is Dauda. Joseph is Jacob. Isaac is Isaac. Jacob is Jacob. Then, in fact, even Noah is Nuh. So if you hear the name Nuh, that's Noah. But sometimes, due to the fact that politicians want to project, you understand, they want to project a particular interest to carry out exclusionary project or to run their ambition, they begin to emphasize on the things that divide us instead of on the ones that unite us. So if Buhari said Jesus Christ, it's not even against Islam, it's not anti-Islam, or it's not even un-Islamic for him to say Jesus. Jesus is a prophet in the Quran, you understand? Now again, but did that also remove or actually diminish the fact that Buhari also urged Muslims to vote for only Muslims in 2003? Yes, it did not. It did not. So we have to also look for the balance. It's fine Buhari shouted Jesus Christ of Nazareth, maybe to please his Ronald. Yes, it was. I said it's fine.
They called Jesus for a miracle.
And they didn't consider it a blasphemy.
Yes, it's also important because if you look at even 2023, we are seeing religious narratives being churned out by political clans, you understand, or by their supporters, hangers on, who there are people who cannot be outside government. And there is a cliche, or it's not even a cliche, there is an acronym for them, AGIP, that's AGIP, any government in power. They are hangers on. If political party A wins, they will go to them and give billions of naira to them. Some of them are even vocal, trying to undermine some candidates, you understand? But the point remains that Nigeria should look beyond religious parameters when we are to make selection or when we are to recruit.
All right, Honorable, for a core Muslim and who has been preaching this Islamism, to shout Jesus Christ of not just Jesus Christ.
Remember, he also supported Sharia.
Yes.
Supported Sharia. Well, Sharia violently.
Yes, that's what I mean by core, Islamist or core Muslim. To shout Jesus, not just Jesus. I didn't say he said shout Jesus Christ. And it didn't stop at Jesus Christ. Even mentioned nativity of Jesus Christ. And what does that tell us? Because if you look at the level of high indoctrination and fanaticism that we experience in this country. Then for this to come from Buhari, what's your take on that?
I think, the thing is that these are most of our political leaders. They try to keep us perpetually blind from the reality, so that they will continually manipulate us. They will continue to manipulate us. You understand? To continue to take advantage of those who they have kept blind and impoverished. That's why when you go to the north, you have these alamajiris. Now, the question will be asked: is it only in Nigeria that Islam is practiced? Why is it in Saudi Arabia, where they go for Mecca, they don't have all these impoverished alamajiris? Must the alamajiri be impoverished? Must he be walking the streets with plates, begging, with no shelter? So they perpetually keep these people impoverished and politically and intellectually blind, so that they continue to manipulate them, use the religion to divide them. You understand? When they see a Christian, they say, stay away from a Christian, he's an infidel. In fact, if you see him, kill him. He has come to kill you. He has come to indoctrinate you with his Christian religion. And then if you ever leave Muslim, if you ever leave Islam if you denounce Islam to switch over to Christianity, then you have committed a taboo. You will be killed. So they use this instrument to continuously divide the nation. That's why I am very happy about this Obi's candidature and his pattern of campaign. He has changed the narratives. He has come to, we are working. They call the Nigerian youth. He has come to. Let's take this go.
Oh, sorry. You can call us back.
So he has come to, really like open our eyes. Like in the north now, most of those who are intellectually aware are now moving about using. They've acquired this public address system, the small public address system, moving from markets to clusters, to tell people, to try to educate the people. Ask them questions. Are you happy that you are in this state you are? An impoverished and uneducated alamajiri person. You remember that was one of former President Goodluck Jonathan's undoing in 2015, because he went and built schools for the alamajiris. They now said they felt threatened. So this man is coming now to open up the eyes of our people.
Part of the reason why a robust candidate like Aminu Kano could not go reasonably far, even when he was able to mobilize those they call the Talakawas.
Yes.
The Talakawas, you have the Alamajiri, you have the poor.
Yes.
The poor of the poor.
Yeah,
that's what we call the Talakawas.
Yes.
All of them, they fall within the same category. So he was mobilizing them, going to marketplaces, going to public places. But unfortunately, such a person, even with whom Achebe worked, Achebe identified with Achebe said he has never seen a candidacy that like this. And the scholars of even historical scholars are now saying Peter Obi to a great extent likens to this man, ability to appeal to the common person.
Yes.
In Britain, the House of Commons belongs to the commons.
Yes.
But it presides over the House of Lords, where you have the barons, the earls, the knights and what have you.
So that's it. So the thing is that now the jinx has been broken. You understand? That's a veil that they used to cover especially the Nigerian youths in the northern extraction. Now they are beginning to realize themselves. You understand? So those narratives will no longer play. It is no longer feasible. It will no longer succeed. You understand? After this 2023 election, Nigerian youth will be able to stand on their foot and say, this is the country. Let me also tell us, let me predict something on this platform. You see, by the time after the 2020, after the presidential election coming next month, February, which I'm sure P2P is going to win, let me tell you, his cabinet cabinet members, Nigerians are going to be interested in who he appoints to what position.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be the government of the people. People will even begin to nominate, point Mr. A or Mrs. A or to so position to ministry of this or ministry of that. People, and if it goes against that, you will see that people will begin to revolt from the onset.
Oh, yes, I tend to agree with you on that. But let me also ask, comrade,
Yeah.
you know, recently political positions, and even as elections come and go, political positions, especially here in Nigeria, is meant for compensations. They are majorly compensations.
Yes, for
doesn't really matter who you may have you may have a best brain in party A, but because party A is not the position, nobody will bring him into work. And I was thinking the narrative would have changed now that we have lettered governors, and even in the federal and so on. Is governance supposed to be that way?
It's not supposed to be that way, and that is what we say: establishment and the anti-establishment, pro-establishment and the anti-establishment. Let me say it, Peter Obi, and then people you see that when you see people like Peter Obi, Shogore, even to an extent Pankwaso, those are the people that are not pro-establishment in terms of this political dispensation. But I'm going to say, well, then the PDP and APC, if PDP win this election, people from APC will cross over. They are allies before in their other world. They are allies. In fact, the word we see here is political reincarnation. You understand? If this season reincarnates, you see them crossing over to become. You don't want to tell me that Bimi Melaye, who has been having directs and exchanges with Femi Fani-Kayode, that they have not been in the same party for months. They've been friends before. So it's just about.
They are still friends.
They are still friends. But the party structure of others, and they are saying there is no structure in these parties, represent the Nigerians. Remember that there was a popular saying, a cliche, that Nigerian youth were running through Peter Obi. Peter Obi is not running, but Nigerian youth
were running through
Peter Obi. Now, if you look at people who are likely to occupy positions if Peter Obi should emerge, and Peter Obi has said it more than any other candidate, that why they are against him is because he is seeking to dismantle what they call structure, even as a response to what Ateze was actually saying. Before now, it was Ateze saying that Peter Obi cannot emerge. Before we saw people who have more stake than Ateze himself, who are living other extraction, not the Igbo. And it speaks to something that Peter Obi, to an extent, just like you have Peter Obi, is a national symbol. More than we all know it. Now see, people who we are expecting to occupy offices, whether appointment, whether ministers, are no longer going to be the conventional people. Yes. The normal people, we all know. Now see people, see in Peter Obi's camp, you have Indikato. She's someone I know very well from the north, who has been assertive, fearless. You also have Aisha. Yes. Is someone I know who's been fearless. You have also seen people like A.B. Kenneth Okonkwo. And again, another person, a scholar of eminent pedigree. You understand? The man who is now in charge of the campaign. You understand what I'm saying now? Who replaced who replaced the outgoing Okube. Now, you also look at people like Fashoranti. These are people who have been critical of the establishment, who have had it tough, who have been saying we deserve or we need a new Nigeria. And now this candidacy of Peter Obi is affording them opportunity to also be the deciders of affairs. So it simply means that possibly what Obasanjo called a third force, before this issue of letter item, Obasanjo had actually urged Nigerians to unite and form a third force. In 2018, he talked about third force. So what Obasanjo talked about, that if Peter Obi wins, possibility of Nigeria coming to a new era, opening a new page, is there.
All right, Honorable, you've been there, you've been a party man, contested for an election and won. And then talking about what is the major reason behind this idea of appointing, no matter, even if it's a good, for the fact he's a member of the party, and with the excuse he worked for us.
Party patronage.
Party patronage.
That's what it is. Party patronage.
And party loyalty.
Yeah. They patronize you for your loyalty. You understand? Try to reward you for your loyalty.
If you try to not do well,
Try to
yes, that position.
No, sometimes another thing is this. Sometimes the financiers, the election financiers, come with their list. These people, most of these people are candidates of the financier, which they use as conduit pipe to siphon the money of the state, whether the state as a national or the various states, federating states. So the thing is, so that's why these appointments happen. So most times, the candidates don't, that's why I see this P2B thing as divine. You understand? When the
what you're saying is a product of the Godfatherism.
Yes, when the word of a man pleases God, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. You understand? People are coming to say, this money, they say you don't have structure. We are here. We are your structure. They say if you don't have money, you can't finance the thing. Forget, leave the money issue with us. We will bankroll it. People are doling out the money in their own little ways, and which is now forming an ocean of money. You understand? With which his campaign is being run. So the issue, that's why I now say, that role that the godfatherism, those political godfathers used to play, Nigerians will be nominating and appointing who becomes who and who takes whatever office. Now Nigerians are going to play that role, having financed the election, having mobilized themselves for this election. They will not say, Obi, we know, for example, remember there was a time the people voted for Aisha Yusuf to be his running mate. Until what killed that matter was Aisha Yusuf came up on social media and said, and gave reasons, appreciated people for rooting out, or even designed posters, but she gave reasons why she could not be I'm coming to that, and why she could not go for as a because one of her reasons was that she is from the south and Obi is from the south, because people do not know that she's from Edo State. Some people thought that yeah, but she grew up, she was born in Kano and she grew up in Kano. And her husband is also from Edo State. But it happened that there are Muslims. So when she now came up with those reasons, people, Nigerians now said, okay, you understand? So that will not tell you the extent Nigerians will go, how far Nigerians will go in nominating, in choosing. Listen, Nigerians know who is who. Yes. They know who is who. No matter how you try to hide yourself. So at the end of the day, they will not say, we want this person in this key position, we want this person in this key position. So these godfathers, remember, I don't know if you have seen on the internet, the letter that Arthur Eze some time ago, the condition, the agreement he entered into with somebody that ran for governorship in Anambra State, giving him condition of how many commissioners he will appoint if he wins, if he sponsors his election, and all that. And the key position, not just commissioners, the ministries. So when they make their choice of ministries and also tell you how many, even if you reshuffle your cabinet, they will also dictate when your cabinet will be reshuffled. If they want that commissioner out, they will not ask you to reshuffle your cabinet. You reshuffle your cabinet and bring the person they now want. It is other person is falling out of loyalty. So the thing is simply party patronage and
what happened between the current Minister of Labour.
Yes.
The Obas.
Yes. And it's still happening around us here. Yes. I don't want to mention it. And that is why most of these states are underdeveloped.
Okay, let us look at this article. Ayu should be blamed for the PDP's crisis, says a lawmaker representing the Boa Udua Ahoda East Federal Constituency in the person of Solomon Bo. He said, Governor Wike is a stickler for character. He abhors lies and dodgy behavior. He has laid out a credible case for honesty, fairness, and respect for greed positions as indispensable requirement for both sides to move forward. Obi was Bob said this when he was asked about what is happening between the PDP, if Wike will ever come back to PDP. He said he's fighting, Obi is fighting Wike is fighting a just cause. Because, when we talked about Atiku being a unifier, and then you made a promise. The National Party chairman is from the north, and you are a northerner. And you promised, if I become the candidate of PDP, the national chairman will step down and hand over to a southerner to balance equation. And now look at what is happening. So how can, because a lot of people are accusing Wike of Rivers State of being a little autocratic and not wanting to give up or give in to, and come back to PDP. Comrade.
Yes, it is what it is. I have said this time without number, and I will still say it. What is playing out between Atiku and Wike is what we have actually projected, and we have actually painted the scenario that Wike is far gone and cannot come back where he is. He's crossed the Rubicon, and it should be seen as such. But what the honorable man said is just to which is that even yesterday, former governor Peter Odele said the same thing, that Wike is fighting a just cause. And to an extent, Wike is also fighting a just cause. But he who must come to equity must come with clean hands. Did Wike go to equity with clean hands? That's where I have a question for him. So if at all Wike believes, and even up to this moment, he's still saying that power should come to the south. He has not even been emphatic when there was that assertion or when there was that conversation about microzoning. Did Wike accept? Wike did not accept. It was Wike's undoing that brought about Atiku's becoming. Yes, the thing, you understand? But be that as it may, I think Atiku also himself should also be on. See, let me say it here, and it's my personal view. Atiku understands as much as does Tinubu that 2023, if they fail to grab this opportunity 2023, they may no longer be that relevant in 2027. It is to be given. In fact, it's a given. Now, why Atiku is fighting inordinately and over-ambitious is because he sees 2023 as possibly his last political chance, you understand, to campaign and then begin to, or to project himself. But be that as it may, the question is, Wike, what he is doing, is it really undermining Atiku's chances? And I would say yes, to a great extent. Because we have 5 governors. There is something they call structure. It means Atiku is not in control of the party structure in these 5 states. Bear it in mind, except where we are having some members of PDP come out in Oyo State to say they are supporting Atiku, no matter what governor of the state is doing. But now look at it that Autumn is likely to support Obi, or a few of them are undecided. Wike says he will make his pronouncement like Obasanjo this very month we are now. So it all speaks to the same thing, that under the presidency or the candidacy of Atiku, PDP lost her house. PDP lost her house. It's as clear as
Honorable.
Yeah.
Honorable. Now, talking about this, Atiku, let me keep using the word unifier. And then, with what Atiku has done, just for the chairman to step down, and let's assume if the chairman steps down, the 5 governors of these 5 states now come back to PDP, if they're going to come back to PDP, which may assure Atiku's victory, after this general election, is one man enough for him to have remained adamant?
The thing is that I don't see the possibility of even the 5 governors, even if the National Party should resign now, or step down, or step aside, whatever name you call it. I don't see these 5 governors coming, because the train has already left the station long ago. Yeah. So now, even if they come back, they won't even like to come back again, because they know that they have done enough damage that cannot be fixed in no amount of quick fix in 1 month. It cannot be fixed. You understand? So they have already said farewell to PDP while they are still in the boat. You understand? So the thing is,
and we get threatened that nobody can
sanction them.
no, but the thing is this: morally speaking, which of them
exactly
have the moral audacity to sanction Wike? Wike has been there with PDP on thick and thin. You understand? Even when these people left PDP and tended to drown the boat, he was there and started it. You understand? So now they came back again and then overflowed the boats and then they want to. Now they said that let them try it, like he said. Let them try it. They will succeed. So he's fighting a just cause. You understand? And with him. But sometimes, comrade, like what you said that people will, that he was not, coming to equity with clean hands. Yes, some of these things, like I said before, this thing is divine. You understand? Sometimes when God writes his own script, we will only have to play along. He is the script writer, he is the director, he is the producer. So the only thing is that he will do his double casting. You understand?
You are the camera.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, before we go today, the Labour Party said its presidential candidate is a phenomenal idea being directed by divine phenomenon and propelled by people's organic reaction and movement, and advised Anambra state-born businessman Prince Arthur Eze to make a big sacrifice of his wealth generation by relinquishing his attachment to the old cleavages of politicians and support the candidacy of Mr. Peter Obi. Now the Labour Party is now talking to Arthur Eze, yes, and also to forget about these old
cleavages,
and then look downwards and inwards and see the positive things and visions of Peter Obi.
Let me just comment. The way the thing is now, like I made a point of the train leaving the station. The thing now, if Arthur Eze, there was a provision for him to come in and take a particular position, occupy a particular position, and then the train. If he comes in now, he's going to queue up. If you understand, even if he comes now with his support and then they will say, okay, don't worry, queue up. That space we left for you has been occupied by somebody else. We have filled it in. You understand? And he's right now, even if he comes in now, he's the suspect.
Yes, I want to ask in the first place, what will make the likes of Arthur Eze, his level of finances and so on, because all these things is gearing towards supporting Atiku, as directed maybe by their governor, Soludo. So
yes, I think there is no way you can expect someone like Arthur Eze to support Peter Obi, and it is still the same thing. It points to the fact that Obi candidacy is not about Igbo. If I may use the word Igbo-centric, it's not Igbo-centric. Obi is not being projected by the Igbo. In fact, Ohanaeze has not been, I'm sorry to say it, but it's the fact, as vocal as Afenifere.
Yeah. But it's fair.
Yes, Ohanaeze has been vocal. Ohanaeze has been vocal that it is the turn of the Igbo in the land, that every reasonable Nigerian, every well-meaning Nigerian who intends well for this nation should support the candidacy of Obi. But they have not been as vocal as Afenifere, who came out to reject their own, saying they don't believe in the principle and the concept and the ideology and the philosophy of Emi Lokon. That's Afenifere. Now again, if you look at the demographics, you will know that this speaks for them. Now, what P2B has been saying, remember P2B was the person who connected to a great extent the oil theft thing in one of his campaign fora where he was actually to speak. Yeah. He said few are stealing our oil. The oil. It wasn't even long. We started making some recoveries and then findings. It is still the same person. And he has said it time and again and time and again. He said his presidency, if he emerges, will be to do what? To flush out the evil regime, to make sure that the people who have held the nation, understand, people who are actually held the nation, in fact, in stranglehold, are actually what? Rid of the system. Now, how will you want people? Now, I have said something here about people who are friends of every government. At the I'm supposed to say it has been friends of Obasanjo, Buhari, anybody who emerges. You understand? Some persons like this they try to curry favor, they try to be in their good books because of maybe of contract or whatever have you or whatever you believe. I'm not saying this in particular or referencing to that, but I'm saying people like that, you don't expect them, you understand, to throw their weight behind a candidate who is pro-masses, pro-people, and pro-poor. You know, it is clear. You know, you don't expect them to be in a government where a president can wake up and begin to interrogate how these oil wells have been apportioned, how the wealth of this nation is being managed, and by whom, and who calls the shots. You understand? And the president begins to interrogate who gets what, how, and when, and where. You understand? So you don't expect this person. So I am not shocked. It's not, you see, we will begin to hear some of these things. There is no establishment Igbo figure who is supporting Peter Obi. It does not mean that the majority of the Igbo are not supporting Peter Obi. So it is what it is. That the fight, the challenge today is between, like Obasanjo said, to an extent, is between good Nigerians and bad Nigerians. And there are, he said, it's not just about only religion. People who are in all the other religious divide are also rooting for Obi. But the problem has always been those who are milking the country. And Obi has been saying this everywhere. He said Nigeria is not a production country, it's a consumption country. We want to change the narrative. So it all depends on where your bread is buttered. So I am not expecting Atoese to come out and begin to sing praises for Obi. So
I want to say something regarding
just 1 second.
Yes, regarding the position of the Ohanes and Igbo. Yeah. Even though I'm not their spokesman, but it is politically strategic. Because if they should come out and begin to blow the trumpet of a P2B, it will not look like a regional thing. It will not look like an Igbo candidate, like the Igbos have endorsed this, and the Igbos have now want to use P2B to actualize the thing. It's good. It's a good political strategy that they just kept their cool and allowed other regions of the country to now say this. Inside amongst you, we have found this person worthy of our trust.
Yes.
So let's not just
comrade, from what you said, the people who are really against Peter Obi and the endorsement of Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president of this country, the people who are against are majorly the consumers.
Yes, they are the people who have a grip. Yes, and that's why P2B has been saying, you see, and it is even good for us all. I like the fact that, do you know when Atiku visited Anambra State, do you know the language Soludo used? He said, you are among the two who are aspiring. I'm putting Soludo. He said, you are among the two who are running for this job. So as far as Soludo is concerned, after his own letter, he is still convinced. And he has his right.
Yes, that's his personal opinion.
His personal opinion. We have to respect it. Even after his opinion should also be respected. Yeah. Because at every level, personal interest also aggregates to form public interest. You understand? So if Atese is saying this and then they are saying this, it's also their right. But when a personal interest is basically on one's selfish interest, that is not self-interest. Self-interest. Yes. But why I know this assertion is now listen. When you say, I'm trying to say this in it's not to call out all these parties. We have seen PDP 16 years, we've seen APC at the presidency. You know that when this personal interest converge to carry out a particular thing, a presidency is formed. And when this interest diverge, we now begin to have misunderstanding, and then other coalitions we see in the political application. It's just simple. But now, what we are seeing is interest of the commons, interest of the masses being projected And that's why sometimes I say,
And it will prevail.
I say, sure, does P2B even understand what he is carrying? Does he sometimes, I ask him that question, does he even understand? See, where Nigeria is, we have to speak the truth. Because this time, I am a historian, a time like this we question us, even in our graves.
Yes.
What did you do?
Yes.
When we were see,
You're very correct.
we have the present, I'm sorry I'm taking time, but it's important our viewers understand this. We passed a budget of 21 trillion naira. About 6 to 8 trillion naira or so deficit. Now you ask yourself, what country performs like this? I'm not against deficit, but it should not be more than 3% of your GDP.
You are using about 1.8 trillion to service
So
And for about 6 months now, about 6 months now or more.
now, the president is still looking to the national level from CBN through the ways and means. And you know what? They are trying to securitize it, securitization to stretch it to 40 years. That's what the next ambition we face. And he wants me to believe that somebody who is not competent enough, who is not guided by the fear of God, who is not pro-Nigerian, who is not pro-poor, should be at the helm of affairs. May history find people at the side we have taken in this own narrative.
All right, the then former Minister for Education, that would be a question.
Also,
It will take more than 4 years for any good president.
I usually say that sometimes, yes. So, foundation.
That is it. All we're saying is make sure you get your PVC, personalize it, that your PVC will speak for you. Get your permanent voter's card and make sure INEC had published, I think, about 7 million or thereabout.
And I've not collected their own.
I've not collected.
And the thing will be ending, I think, either 22nd
So
or this January.
if you are one of them, go to any nearby either local government or the state INEC office and make sure
local government were registered.
go to the local government where registered and collect yours. Please, this is not going to be business as usual. This time your vote is going to count. And INEC is insisting on this BVAS, and this BVAS is going to work. That is a bimodal voters or verification accreditation system. It's going to work out. So it is important you get yours, so that if you don't get your PVC and if anything goes wrong, not just Nigerians, even God will hold you accountable.
Yes, sir.
On this point, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the end of today's program. Remember, tomorrow we'll be having issues of the moment. And I will keep watching Living TV, and I will keep keeping you posted with current affairs of this country. And always remember to call in, ask questions, or make your contributions. It is free. And once again, to remind you that Living Television is a satellite television. It is not political. We don't belong to any political, so don't be afraid to ask questions or to come around for your programs here in the studio. Having said that, from my far left, I have Comrade Nnamdi Lekwachi. Comrade Nnamdi Lekwachi, we're happy to have you today.
I'm happy to be here also. Thank you.
And Honorable Emeka Ihedru, Honorable, thank you for being part of this program.
Thank you so much. And viewers, I beg you in the name of God, please go and get your PVC if you have not done that already. Please. Time is of the essence.
And this is your command, Chinedu Madiele, signing off. Keep watching Living TV until we come your way again tomorrow.
And so you can keep on watching Living TV. I can say in Pidgin English. Living TV. Unade Kampe.
Living TV, bringing the word